It was a good win for us against a quality ball club. Texas A&M leads the SEC in field goal percentage defense and also scoring defense, and within the top 15 in the nation in both of those categories. So for us to score 81 points against them, and I think we shot almost 64% in the second half against them and finished over 52% overall, I think speaks well of what our team did offensively. And I got to tell you this, I was really disappointed in our performance at Alabama, and more so, I had a suspicion that we didn't do the things we needed to do offensively as far as sharing the basketball and attacking the paint, and I went through and I statted every possession. On average, in that first half against Alabama, we shot the ball with 26 seconds on the shot clock. On average, in the second half, we shot the ball with 25 seconds on the shot clock in the second half. So that means we made Alabama play defense 9 and 10 seconds for the whole game. And then more importantly, we passed the ball less than 2 times each possession to each other. And so like for me, I was really disappointed that a team that I was coaching wasn't sharing the basketball and wasn't using the shot clock. So our guys had a directive that they couldn't shoot a 3 until the ball hit the paint, and that's the way we got to play. And we're going to play that way until they start shooting better. And if they want to shoot threes, then they need to get in the gym and shoot them.
How important was Fred's play? I know obviously Craig and Gavin had big games, but just Fred, the offense that he can give you in that direction.
Well, first and foremost, Fred continued to play without having a lot of success shooting threes. And Fred is a complete player, and he can be so much better than what he does. Sometimes he gets so wrapped up in what's going on with him offensively with the three-point line that he doesn't play inspired basketball. And I thought he continued to play inspired basketball regardless of what was going on with him offensively. He was really good defensively. I thought he got a lot of deflections. I thought he did a great job down on Jones in the stretch. Coach Flanagan, regardless of the lineup, put Fred on Jones, and I thought he did a great job with that. But just more so than anything, just his energy. You know, Fred didn't drop his head at any point in time that whole game. He just continued to play with a lot of enthusiasm, and that's what we need out of Fred.
Against that style of defense and how steady they are, the lack of I.J. Ray, Trevante stepped up and got control. He got a lot of help as well from Chickett and even Colin and moving the ball around.
Yeah, I thought it was a good team effort, and I thought Jacoby did a good job of coming in there and playing well. And I was really concerned about, because Texas A&M just doesn't guard people who don't shoot. And so I thought it wasn't going to be any lanes to attack on the drives or to feed it into the post to Gavin and Raquez and our guys. So not having IJ took away from us having another guy who can make a shot, so people were going to pack it in against Trevante. So I thought Trevante did a good job of recognizing where to pass the basketball, when to attack. And then also Jacoby came in and did some good things as well, too.
How happy were you to see kind of Gavin almost get aggressively demonstrative and yell at teammates, they can't out-guard me, get me the ball, I want to eat?
Well, he needs to be that way all the time, though, you know, and that's the key. I mean, we do a lot of things to try to get Gavin the ball, and I tell Gavin, a lot of times you're not getting the ball not because you're not working or the guy doesn't want to throw the ball to you, it's the people around you. And so it's so hard to make post feeds when people are not guarding our guys away from the basketball. But he's got to continue to work for posts and for seals, because the team is going to make a mistake if we make them make a mistake. And I think that's the big difference is we made Texas A&M make mistakes because we massaged and worked the shot clock. You know, you can play good, solid defense for 9 to 10 seconds, but can you play good, solid defense for 25 seconds and for 30 seconds? Because you're eventually going to have defensive breakdowns.
You mentioned the points that you guys put up today, but also just coming back from being down 10 in the second half to different points. Does that itself give you more momentum moving forward? Yeah,
I think so. But here's the key from this point on is, like, how do we deal with this success? We had success against Ole Miss, and we went out and laid the egg against Alabama. So now in our next game, how do we deal with this success? And I told our guys, I don't know about them, but I plan on having to deal with success, all right? That's the whole key to it. So now, what do we do? How do we respond to us having a good victory against Texas A&M?
How'd they respond to the bad shoot around that you said that they had, the body language and all that? How did that go this time around as opposed to last time?
Well, we didn't have a shoot-around today because it was such an early game. I don't believe in getting guys up at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning to have a shoot-around. To me, I think you lose guys because they're 18 and 25-year-old guys. They don't want to get up that early. So we just got up and had breakfast at 9 o'clock for our pregame meal, and then we didn't have the shoot-around. So I don't know how they responded because we didn't have one.
Well, what about, like, when they got here, going through pregame and all that, how how was their body language opposed to the last?
Well, they were good. I mean, in the warm-ups and things like that. To be honest with you, though, I really don't know because I'm not dealing with them while they get taped and all that stuff. And then when they come in and talk to me, they just look at me. So I don't know if they're listening, but they just look at me.
Do you have an update on IJ?
No. I mean, it's totally in the medical staff's hand on that. He's got to make sure that, when you're dealing with a head injury, we want him to be totally symptom-free, and right now he's not symptom-free.
Did you feel like the second half a lot of the time was guys making shots that maybe were contested shots too, and they just seemed to be falling a little more in the second half? Percentages went up for both sides, and it seemed like both teams were still guarding.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, Fitzgerald and Jones, I thought they made shots, but that was the scouting plan going in. We knew that they could make shots. And I just didn't think we did a great job of closing out with hands. We closed out with our hands down. And those guys at 6'6" and 6'7" can shoot over our little guards. And so when you close out to them and you don't have your hands up, then you're just giving them an open shot. But with us, I thought we got a lot of shots at the rim. But after we attacked the rim, I thought we were open for perimeter shots.
Rick, I know you preached defense since the day you got here, but for the program to continue to develop and take next step, how good is it to see, you got to have some offense and just the way they're developing on that end?
Yeah, it's good. We still are not a skilled basketball team. I mean, that's the next step we need to make as far as becoming a good basketball team. I think our guys are trying to buy in what we're doing defensively and offensively at times. But in order for us to take that next step, we got to get some guys who can make shots. We got to get some guys who can make passes. I think a lot of times we come off of ball screen action. We have a lot of people open behind us, but we don't see that behind us. And so it's gradual steps in building the program and guys getting to the point where they can become good basketball players. You just look at the jump that Chicken has made from his freshman to his sophomore year. Now you get encouraged, like, can he make that jump from the sophomore to the junior year? And Gavin needs to continue to turn the corner. And Fred's, it's a process.
Rick, when you look at the last layup, the second half, when Gavin is trying to defend the man down after missing the shot, or I think Craig missed a shot, what's going through your mind as a coach? As he said, you always, if you miss a shot, get back on defense, and he didn't necessarily get back on defense.
Yeah, well, that's not something I want him to do because I think when you start gambling like that, you leave yourself open to the other end, and so you're going to create a situation where it's 5-on-4 or 5-on-3, and Gavin's not a great runner as it is, so he probably needs a head start on getting back. So, I definitely do not want him doing that.
What did you tell the guys at halftime? Because it seemed like both teams were kind of struggling to get any kind of momentum, but yet you were up one.
At halftime, I told them this was the type of game I expected. I told them, hey, they lead the SEC in field goal percentage defense. They lead the SEC in scoring defense, and they're number one in assist-to-turnover ratio. I said, so we're probably not going to steal their ball and go down and lay it up like we do against some other teams. And they're a good defensive team, so it's going to be a grinded-out game. And so you have to have the mindset of what happened in the first half is what I expected.
What did you see from Gavin? He started off really well and then closed the game really well. What was those two spots that allowed him to do so well?
Well, I thought he had a lot of opportunities in the first half at the rim that he just didn't finish. And so you always get disappointed because you're telling your guys to feed Gavin, get the ball inside there to him, and then he has those opportunities and he doesn't finish. And I thought in the second half he did a much better job of finishing those opportunities that he had at the rim.
Is it a concussion with IJ?
Yes, sir.
Anything else?